Hey, good morning. Welcome to How to Get More Customers if you're a local business. My name is Jeff Harrison, and I'm really happy to be here with you. And I'm looking forward to today's topic because it's a little different than anything I've ever spoken about before. And it's something we kind of do behind the scenes at Swing Point Media for our clients to help them be in more places at once and allow them to focus on running their business. For those of you just joining us, if this is your first time, welcome to the show. We're here every Wednesday, although I was absent last Wednesday. I had something come up and I could not be there, and I apologize, but this is a show we do every week for local business owners who are interested in getting more customers using digital platforms. And when I say digital platforms, I mean like, YouTube, Facebook, your website, paid ads, that type of thing. And we'll just kind of walk through some of the things. And we typically pick out one topic a week to discuss and then really give you not only the topic, but also a strategy and how to implement that. Well, this week is no different. This week is inspired by something that happened yesterday. And so let's just get into it. Let me just share my screen. And let me turn off that background. There we go. And I think I'll just remove my picture from this because I don't think I need to be here. I think I'm actually going to do a little differently today. There we go. So let's get into this. Today's topic is called Beating the Digital Overwhelm. By the way, if you have questions or comments, please put them in the comment section. I monitor that as we go through here. And our goal is it's not a selling thing. It's about helping you as a local business owner get more customers. And if there's something I talk about that you're saying, hey, I need more clarification, just put in the comments and yeah, I'll answer them, because the idea is if you come here with questions, I want you to leave with the answers. So let's dive in. Today's, first of all, thanks for being here. Today's topic is beating digital overwhelm. And I say be the dog, not the tail. And I came up with this saying many, many years ago when I remember seeing a dog as a kid and it's chasing its tail. And sometimes there's different activities we can do that will cause us to be like that puppy chasing its tail. My goal is to say, hey, let's do something that doesn't cause you to chase your tail. Be the dog who wags the tail, not the tail who wags the dog. So let's dive in. So the first thing we want to talk about is what is digital overwhelm. Now, before we get into today's topic, today's topic was inspired by a mentoring meeting I had yesterday with a friend and business owner. He was excited about some things that he was beginning to blossom, but also since our last meeting, which was probably 6 or 8 weeks prior. But in his own words, he was feeling a little burnout and kind of overwhelmed. And as he shared his story, I began kind of taking some mental notes. And the first sign or symptom Can you hear my audio now, Pam? Just give me a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Let me try to do this one more time. Great, thank you. Hey, Pam, thanks for joining us. I really appreciate it. I hope it's good. We're going to be in Arizona next week, and look forward to seeing you out there. Anyway, so what happens is we get back to just let's talk about. Let me just recap some of this. So first is chasing the next bright shiny object, because let's face it, there's so many new things coming out every day. We're kind of chasing the audience. We're chasing the next platform. We're learning how to do TikTok dances, or hold a Clubhouse audio program, or we're doing shorts, or whatever it may be. But what happens is these platforms really are also new, and they're changing, they're adjusting, and we hear a thing called algorithm, and they're adjusting their algorithm so they can be more effective and efficient. Well, it kind of puts us behind the eight ball, because if you're not spending all your time understanding that algorithm, there's a chance you're probably you're there, but you're not very effective. And what feels like is you're just kind of spinning your wheels, and you're not getting much traction, and you're kind of waking up going, boy, am I going to do this again today? Because I don't know if I see any activity come from that. As an example, I do these every Wednesday, and I do it for you, but I also use it, and I'm going to explain later, but I also use it in many other forms. So here's our things. The thing that can cause the overwhelm, that my friend that we were talking to yesterday, is he thought he had to be on all these other platforms. He realized he was being ineffective, and he had too many irons in the fire, because he was still running his business. He was trying to recruit people. He was also involved in a committee with this organization he's with, and he had just been assigned a new role in that. And quite honestly, he had so many things going on, there's no way he could keep up. So he was feeling overwhelmed. And what he did is he chose to pick one of the items that he thought he was overwhelmed with that was key to his business. And in his business, sales are critical. Well, he said what was happening, trying to get all these other things done every day and then getting to sales, by the time he was at sales, he was almost like an electric car. It ran out of juice. Everything looked good, but it had no more power to finish the day. Or if he did, it was just ineffective, and it was almost drudgery. So what we did is, as I listened to him, I said, well, let's take a look at this. What I'd like you to consider doing is do one thing. And he kind of gave me that look like, one thing, I have to do all this stuff. I said, well, how about we do it with a twist? So as he described his dilemma, I saw opportunity and not chaos or overwhelm. And I shared this analogy and why it's critical to have a mentor or a guide. You see, everyone, you, me, all of us, we're trying our best, but we're in this maze of life, and we're trying our best through our life to navigate this maze. But like mazes, sometimes we can kind of get to this dead end point. Even though we're working hard, we're really not getting any closer to what we want, but it feels like, hey, we're working on it. So we can come often to that path that really, there is no further path in that. So with a mentor, with me being his mentor, I said, you are in a maze. But the difference is I'm above the maze, and I can see the path that you should do, or you should follow. I can see things differently. And I was unemotional. I looked at it objectively, and most importantly, in my opinion, the straightest path, the best opportunity. So what did I suggest? Well, to choose one of his multiple efforts to do. Then from this one effort, we're able to get everything else he needs to be effective on more than just a single platform. So to make this happen, and really to kind of put in context, he records a Zoom video for his podcast. He does this every week, which gives us video, audio, as well as stills, and you can actually create a written document from that. So to make this make sense, what I could do is just imagine a pizza. When you look at this pizza, what do you see? It's just one big piece, right? It's one big circular piece. But if we took that singular pizza, and because there's also, let's say you also have 4 friends, how many pieces do you need to cut it to give everyone a slice? Well, you need to slice it 5 times. One for you and one for each of your friends. So he and you, in this example, can do exactly the same thing. As an example, for our clients at Swing Point Media, we create a video solving their ideal customers' pressing problems. And from there, we can slice off what I call snippets. Now, these are 1 to 3 minute little videos or pieces that work very well on platforms like YouTube Shorts, Instagram, Facebook, those type of platforms. Then we capture stills from the main video to be used as posts on Facebook, Meta, IG, and yes, even on YouTube. And of course, his interview captured on Zoom is turned into an audio podcast. And by stripping out the audio, adding an open and close and other bits of promotional items, he has already been pre-made. He then drops us into a program that simultaneously posts his weekly podcast onto multiple programs. You see, the idea here is, gang, he's only doing one thing. Like I said, with a twist. Unfortunately, what happens is the typical business owner does it a little differently, which I'll get to in a second. Well, when I explained to him, I said, hey, what if we just did one thing? You focus on doing your podcast, but from your podcast, all things are created from that. And he got really excited. He's like, wow. He said, you mean I don't have to do all those other things? I said, well, here's the thing. You're still doing all those other things, or they're still getting done, but you're not creating each person their own, or each platform their own individual pizza, which he can do then much more rapidly with a lot less effort. So like I said, he was excited, but he still had this one question. He says, well, all of this still takes time and knowledge, Jeff. And I said, well, I'm glad you asked that question, but you know, if you think about it, all those slices of pizza all came from one singular idea. And so while it's true, so when as I was saying before, a lot of business owners will say, well, if I have to create a piece for YouTube, I'll create a video for YouTube. And then if I have to create a piece for my website, a written document, I'll stop and I'll write that article. Then I'm going to have to create all these posts for Facebook or Instagram. Well, in this situation, we're taking the original piece, the original pizza, and we're saying from that, all things are possible. Now, I want to give you an example. There's a guy out there named Gary Vaynerchuk. He goes by Gary V. He's very, very successful. He posts about 100 pieces of content, now watch this, a day. How does he do that? Well, he now has a team, but even before that, he was posting a ton of content every day on his own, but he has somebody that walks around, and all they do is really they document his day. And then his editors cut up pieces and say, this is appropriate for that, this is appropriate for that. And just through documenting his day, all of a sudden, he has all types of content, and then they post it throughout all these other platforms. So the goal here is to say, what is that one thing you can do that is the most important for you? And that's what should you be focusing on. And then from that, you can get all your other pieces to drive those other platforms. Does this make sense? And this is true in any part of your life. It doesn't make any difference what it is. I don't care if it's, cleaning your house or washing the car, taking kids to work, or going out on your errands. What's that one route that on that route you can hit all these points and not go back? It'd be like, Pam, you're driving from your home to the store, and then you drive home, and then you drive to Lowe's. Then you come home, then you drive over to see your mom. In other words, you could just make one trip and cover all those things. It would take less effort, less gas, and less time, and you would still be very effective. But now here's the cool thing, and I'll call it the final act. And I want you to think, time is what? Most people will say time is money. But the reality is time is not money. Time is more valuable than money because money is infinite. Money is infinite. You can make more money, but you can't make more time. It's like tomatoes. When they go bad, you can't use them. I know some of, like my wife probably could figure out a way to use those, but the point is they're rotten tomatoes. You have to throw them away. Well, that second that just passed, I'll never get it back. But then I have a question, is like, how can guys like Elon Musk, as an example, and I use him because he's just doing so much stuff, how can he get so much stuff done? He has the same 24 hours. Well, the point is he stopped doing everything himself. You see, when I first started my business at Swing Point Media, I too thought I had to do everything. And it was important because I had to learn this stuff, right? Like if you looked at me, I said, hey, I can set up this live stream, and I can set up a studio, and I can put the lighting together. I'll make sure the sound is good. I can record it. I can produce it. I can write a script. All these things, edit it, put it out on that. But it's like, is that the highest and best use of my time? And when I say that, I say, well, if you were to do something, what would I pay you? Like, what would you be worth for an hour of your time? And let's just say in today's economy, let's say it's $30 an hour. If I can find somebody to do what it takes me to do in an hour, like let's say edit a video, and I can find somebody to do that for $15 an hour, does it still make sense for me to do that work myself? Now, I used to have this mindset of, well, yeah, because nobody can do it better than me. I've got this real big surprise for you. Could be earth-shattering announcement. There are people out there that do it a lot better than we do it. Some things, but you do have something you do really well. The point is, these other things that can be done for less than what you would make an hour, you should hire somebody. Get somebody else to do it yourself. Like right now, I have somebody that films me. I have somebody that sets up this studio. I have somebody that tears down the studio. I have somebody who writes my articles after I give them the titles. I have somebody who edits my videos. After I look at them and I approve them, somebody else posts them. So the point is, all this is getting done, but what did I do? And what am I encourage you to do? I want you to focus on your greatness. You see, the things that I can't hire somebody to do is this, right? I can't hire somebody to be me, but I can have them do all the other things to say, hey, once this is done, I want you to slice up my pizza, and I want you to create 3 pieces for this, and 3 pieces for this, and 5 pieces for this. Because here's what happens. Let's go back to my friend. By the time he's done, he can do 1 podcast and have, with very little effort, about 20 pieces of content that can be scheduled out for the whole week on these multiple platforms. Because you see, there's platforms out there that you can schedule it and it'll post to multiple platforms. As an example, for a podcast, I can drop it into a particular form and I can literally post it on an unlimited number of platforms. All I have to do is get their code, add it to that program, and when I put 1 podcast up, I can literally go to 5, 10, 15, 20, unlimited number of podcasting platforms. Meaning, gosh, it looks like Jeff's everywhere, or it looks like Pam's everywhere. She's doing her thing, right? When really all you did was one thing. You focused on your greatness. The other thing I would recommend is this. We're all in a maze. And sometimes it can be amazing. And other times it can be overwhelming, because no matter how hard we press at the end of that maze, when we run into that dead end, it's not getting us any closer. And just like when I was with my friend yesterday, I was able to see it from a different perspective and say, wow, what if you did this? And it was so much fun to see the anxiety and the stress be replaced with, I think I can do this. This feels better. I feel lighter. And when he left, he was like, I got this. I think I can do this. Now I'll follow up with him. But here's the thing. Over the course of my life, I have had mentors, and I bet you have too. You may not have called them mentors, but there's somebody else that's not in your maze, that they're looking from above and they can see what is going on and they can kind of guide you. And it's no different than if you're driving your car and all of a sudden you miss the exit. What does it say? Make an immediate U-turn, right? Or I like this, recalculating. It's recalculating. It's figuring something else out. So what is nice about a mentor is it helps you sometimes see where you're at, where you want to go, and think, okay, are you on the right path? Good, let's keep going. Do you need to recalculate? Let's do that. You may need to make a U-turn. There may be some things that you shouldn't do right now because they're not producing any value to you and they're just sucking energy and money from you and your business or you personally. So that's the value of a mentor. So really today was kind of a fun day because it was talking about something that just happened yesterday. It was fun to see, and I wanted to share that with you because as I'm doing this, I get a little tingle because I know my friend and how much better he felt when he left. And again, I've been there before when I go to my mentor, which I go about once every 6 weeks, and I share with him where I'm at, and he's just listening. And today it just got me like, wow, that's right. I am in that same maze, right? When I told my friend that yesterday, I said, we're all in a maze of life. And sometimes when we're in that maze, we don't see it. And we've heard it say called, you can't see the forest for the trees. It's a maze, gang. Same thing. All right, so I just want to thank you for being here and joining me. And Pam, thanks for catching me on that audio. Now that hopefully it worked for the whole thing. And my goal today was to do one thing, was to move you from overwhelm and move you to energized, and to say, wow, I can do more, but I don't have to work harder. I want to say, I can get some help, because at the end of the day, there's a dollar amount that we spend. And it may be, let's use this as an example for advertising. If I say, hey, I'm going to spend $500 a month on advertising for my business. Well, I might say, you know what, I'm going to spend $300 a month on getting these other people in place who can help me slice up my pizza. And then in this $200, it goes to more places with less effort. And while I'm doing this talk, things are mysteriously being posted on my Facebook page or on my Instagram page or a new snippet on my YouTube or my TikTok page, because these people are slicing up my pizza and making sure my audience is being fed properly. So again, thank you so much for joining me. Have a great week. I'll be here next week. I'll be in Scottsdale next week. I'm at a pretty fun event. It's called the CEX. It's a Content Expo, and it's really designed for people like myself who are content marketers. And it helps us be better for us and our clients. Because at the end of the day, to attract a new client, what do you need to do? You need to be able to solve their problem. Think about anything you've ever purchased. What are you purchasing it for? You're satisfying something. It's a pleasure or a problem that you have to deal with. And content is something that when I looked at it, I went back in time because I was chasing that shiny object of, hey, what should I do? I should, chat bots and this and that and another. And I said, wait a second. What's something that hasn't changed and is not going to change in the next 10 years, and it hasn't changed in the last 100? And it's the way we make decisions. We make decisions by having enough information to then feel comfortable to say yes and give someone our credit card. So this is fun. I'm going to be doing that next week, and it's a 3-day event. And then we're going to spend the rest of the week. My wife's coming over, and we're going to spend the rest with our family. In fact, Pam, I'm going to see Pam Craig over there while we're there. I'm looking forward to that, and her mom. So anyway, you guys have a great week. And if you have any questions or you're watching this afterwards, thanks, Pam. Yeah, now I'm kind of hungry. I think I need to go have some pizza, but I may not slice 5. I may only slice 3. Who knows? So anyway, you guys be careful out there. Have fun and have a fabulous week. Bye bye.